The wrestling world just hit a fever pitch. After Paul Heyman's Vision faction brutally betrayed Seth Rollins, leaving the former champion bloodied, broken, and humiliated in the ring, someone who's long been watching from the shadows has finally spoken. Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, has delivered a message so raw, personal, and unfiltered that it's shaking both WWE and AEW to their core. No flashy production, no scripted promos, just Moxley, eyes burning with intensity, calling out Heyman for his manipulation and betrayal. This isn't just a warning, it's a declaration of war. Fans, wrestlers, and executives alike are on edge, because when the lunatic speaks, empires tremble, and the wrestling world will never be the same. Moxley emerges from the shadows. Far from WWE's spotlight, Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose, had been watching it all unfold. Unlike the fans and even WWE talent, Moxley understood the inner workings of Heyman's manipulations firsthand. Having walked away from WWE years earlier, he knew the traps of corporate control and loyalty games. His return to the conversation wasn't just about taking sides, it was personal. Moxley embodies chaos, unpredictability, and raw authenticity. When he finally decided to break his silence, it was in a simple, unpolished video, devoid of flashy production or music. The darkness and shadows of his room mirrored the intensity of his message. Every pause, every glance, every word conveyed decades of pent-up frustration and loyalty to those who had once been his brothers. Moxley's presence reminded the world that some forces in wrestling cannot be contained by contracts, storylines, or corporate boundaries. A raw and unfiltered declaration. In the haunting video, Moxley's words were deliberate, calm, yet venomous. He directly addressed Paul Heyman, exposing the manipulation of Rollins and the corruption of loyalty into weakness. His statement was precise. The Shield was never Heyman's to control, and it never would be. This wasn't just a message, it was a war declaration. Within minutes, fans dissected every syllable, sparking viral debates and theories. Moxley's tone reflected both calculated strategy and raw emotion, making it clear he was speaking from a place of truth rather than theatrics. His words were heavy with the weight of past experiences, betrayals, and lessons learned outside the WWE system. The declaration bridged past and present, intertwining nostalgia with a promise of disruption, signaling that something bigger than himself and potentially beyond WWE was about to unfold. Blurring the lines between WWE and AEW, Moxley's statement had immediate implications for the wrestling world. By addressing WWE from his AEW platform, he shattered long-standing boundaries between rival promotions. The lines that typically divide AEW and WWE blurred, showing fans that storytelling and real-life intrigue could collide. Moxley's message wasn't contained by company loyalties. It was a universal warning that personal loyalty and justice transcend brands. Social media erupted as fans debated whether this was a personal vendetta or the precursor to a multi-promotional storyline. His words challenged the established corporate hierarchy, proving that talent with autonomy can disrupt even the most controlled environments. The tension between AEW and WWE added layers to his declaration, creating a sense of unpredictability that fans hadn't experienced in years. The wrestling world suddenly felt larger, riskier, and far more exciting. The threat of the whole damn arsenal. Perhaps the most shocking part of Moxley's message was his mention of bringing the whole damn arsenal. Fans speculated endlessly about the meaning. Was it a hint at reuniting with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins? Was it symbolic of unleashing past allies and chaos onto a new battleground? The phrase carried weight, implying that Moxley was not acting alone, and that the Shield's legacy could reemerge, untethered from corporate contracts. This cryptic line fueled theories, ignited fan debates, and raised anticipation to unprecedented levels. beyond the spectacle, it highlighted Moxley's strategic thinking. He spoke in a way that left ambiguity while asserting dominance. It also reflected his understanding of psychological warfare, showing that he could manipulate perception without stepping into a ring. The arsenal wasn't just weapons, it was power, history, and influence, all ready to be unleashed. A symbol of loyalty and brotherhood. The Shield was more than a faction. It was a brotherhood built on trust, blood, and shared purpose. Moxley's intervention underscored that these bonds remain unbroken, despite corporate manipulation or betrayal. His words reminded fans and wrestlers alike that some relationships cannot be severed by external forces. The loyalty he displayed to his former brothers, Rollins and Reigns, contrasted sharply with Heyman's manipulative control. This human element, the emotional depth behind the chaos, made Moxley's message resonate beyond storylines. Fans understood the gravity of familial and fraternal bonds in wrestling, creating a connection that transcended scripted outcomes. In a world where alliances are often temporary, Moxley's stance reminded everyone that true loyalty has consequences, meaning, and lasting power. It also positioned him as a moral compass, the voice defending integrity in a corporate-driven environment. Speculation and future possibilities. Moxley's video opened countless possibilities for the future. Could this lead to a Shield reunion outside WWE? Might Moxley physically confront Heyman, Rollins, or Reigns? Could there be a groundbreaking cross-promotional feud that fans have only dreamed of? The ambiguity created excitement while keeping the wrestling universe guessing. This uncertainty adds layers to the ongoing narrative, combining fan imagination with real-world implications. Promoters, executives, and writers now have to anticipate Moxley's next move, making his declaration both a storytelling challenge and an opportunity. The suspense fuels engagement, reminding fans why wrestling thrives on unpredictability. Moxley's words were more than a call to action. They were the opening act in a story that could reshape loyalties, alliances, and the very structure of professional wrestling. The power of chaos in wrestling. Ultimately, Moxley represents chaos, unpredictability, and the human element in a heavily structured industry. His message was not about contracts, brands, or scripted outcomes. It was about emotion, loyalty, and justice. The reaction proves that wrestling isn't just about athleticism. It's about storytelling that resonates on a personal level. Fans responded not only to the words, but to the sentiment behind them, the defiance, the courage, and the refusal to be controlled. Moxley's declaration serves as a reminder that no empire, no matter how corporate or powerful, can suppress the human spirit indefinitely. Wrestling thrives on moments like this, where reality, emotion, and fiction intertwine, creating stories that remain unforgettable long after the final bell. A revolution in motion. Jon Moxley's statement marks the beginning of a potentially historic chapter in wrestling. It has blurred company lines, reignited old alliances, and created a scenario where loyalty, betrayal, and rebellion collide. WWE and AEW fans alike are now invested in outcomes that transcend scripted programs, anticipating actions that could alter careers and industry dynamics. Moxley's words were a spark, and the fire has only begun. This is more than a storyline. It's a living, breathing revolution that demands attention. Whether through reunions, battles, or strategic chaos, his message ensures that the wrestling world will never be the same. The lunatic fringe has spoken, and the industry is listening, watching, and preparing for the fallout that is guaranteed to shake